everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So, last session of the year, and working some more on the flowers that are on the left-hand side of this pass. Oh, my tablet is being a little weird today, so let me try rebooting Pattern Keeper because sometimes that fixes it. Okay, so you ready to stop being weird? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I did reboot it this morning because it was being weird, and then it's still being weird, so I hope that that's going to resolve itself. I don't know, sometimes it just takes using it for a while for it to fully, I don't know, wake up, defrost, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm not terribly thrilled about this. Is my second Kindle Fire. The first one I bought was just to run Pattern Keeper, and it worked great. So when it finally was done, I replaced it with a new one, but the new one has not been as good. So I don't know if I just got a lemon or the quality has gone down, but yeah, this one has given me a lot of problems. It's prone to doing a lot more lags and errors and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was a bit of a gong show getting my patterns into Pattern Keeper because Google Drive, when I first installed it, wouldn't work. And I rebooted and everything, but it just, actually I'm going to go the other way. It just wouldn't cooperate. What I ended up doing was pulling my PDFs in using the Kindle Reader app, and my husband figured out that workaround. What I didn't know was that it needed to update. I figured when it came out of the package it would be ready to go, but I guess there had been a software update since then. And yeah, so it updated overnight, and the next day then Google Drive would work. But otherwise, yeah, I could install it, I could log in, but it wouldn't see that there was anything in there. It said there were no files, which I knew was not true because I would log in with my, my laptop, and there were files in there. And I checked, like, it would ask permission, and I would say, yes, this is me logging in, but it still would not show them. Yeah, it was really frustrating. Yeah, technology can be really annoying that way sometimes. Yeah, like I changed my Facebook password, and I have this app that tells me changes in my friends list, so I know when people unfriended me. And yeah, I logged in with my new password, and Facebook would ask, is this you? And I'd say, yes, it's me. And it would say, okay, logged in. And then it would go, nope, can't log in. Log in again. So I log in again. Is this you? Yes, it's me. And this went in a loop for about 5 times. It wouldn't. Rebooting things wouldn't work, and logging out, logging back in wouldn't work, and all this stuff. So finally I had to uninstall and reinstall the app. And then it finally worked. But yeah, it was just, I changed my password and the app lost its freaking mind. And even with my 2-factor authenticating that, yes, that is me logging in, it's okay, it would keep locking me out. It was very, very annoying. Yeah, finally got it working. All right, so yeah, so I said I was hoping to maybe reach 180,000 by the end of the year, but I think that might be a little bit much. Yeah, I lost some stitching time because, of course, it was the holidays, and I got a new computer, and that took a while to set up properly because, yeah, first it was trying to put everything on my OneDrive and not on my actual computer. And then we discovered that the computer we bought, the hard drive, was not sufficient for my needs. It was too small. And so my husband had to swap out the hard drive, like physically. And then, like, he made a backup recovery copy that was supposed to upload onto my new one. And it uploaded only my documents. So my pictures, my videos, my music, none of it was actually there. So I had to reload all that again. And yeah, it was just a whole big thing. So that took some time getting that all sorted out. Yeah. My old computer actually worked fine, but yeah, I was saying before, it was so old that it was running Windows 8, and basically they warn you that it's not secure anymore. They're no longer releasing like patches and updates for it and stuff. And so, yeah, basically they say don't rely on just your, you know, antivirus or whatever to keep it safe. It's best if you have an up-to-date, yeah, system. So finally upgraded. So now I'm running Windows 11. Yeah. Yeah, so my old computer, my husband will use it. He'll disconnect it from the internet and just use it for running his CAD drafting program. So it won't go to waste. Because, yeah, I said I kind of hated doing that, knowing that it was still running decently enough. I could have used it for another, you know, 2 or 3 years. So, but yeah, like I said, if you're going to have it connected to the internet, then you want it to be secure. You do not want your personal data to be vulnerable. So yeah, it was interesting because a lot of websites I had to two-factor authenticate that it was me with my new computer, obviously, but some of them didn't. Yeah, it was weird. I was waiting for it to ask me for a code to prove it's me, but then it didn't. So yeah, my husband said, well, it's probably the same IP address. I'm like, yeah, but it's just funny that some websites recognize it's a different computer and some don't. So go figure. Yeah. Because I went to submit a claim and for my husband's hearing test, because he had to pay it and then we get reimbursed. And yeah, they didn't ask me to re-authenticate that it was me, which I was surprised. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating though. They'll often say, oh yeah, we'll reimburse you, and they didn't. When my son had his wisdom teeth out, they paid up front for half of the cost of like the extraction and all that, but the anesthesia we had to pay up front, and they said, oh yeah, here's the thing, they'll reimburse you. That they didn't. So like, fortunately, it wasn't super duper expensive. We could afford it, but it's kind of irritating that, yeah, they claim they'll cover it and then decide, actually, no. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that's done. My son was dreading it, but I just said, it's better to get it done when you're younger. You heal faster. We did it during the summer, so yeah. And, before they get impacted, because I said, yeah, I had to have braces when I was a kid because my teeth were very messed up. And yeah, and then they were fixed and they were great and they were fine. And then my wisdom teeth started coming in, they got impacted, and I still have a little bit of nerve pain sometimes. Like, so before I had my teeth fixed with the braces, I had nerve pain. I find if I hadn't eaten for a long time, the first time I take a bite of something, it hurts. And then it's okay after that. And then that went away. And then, yeah, after the wisdom teeth came in, they must have messed something up. And so I had that pain again. So it's like, darn it. So I told my son, yeah, you want to have those out before they get impacted and start causing problems, because they can give you lifelong issues if you don't. So, yeah. You don't want to be like me. Yeah, he's lucky though. He didn't need braces. So yeah, we kind of said, we counted on the fact that any kids we had would need glasses and braces, and if they don't, bonus. So he does need glasses, but not braces. So yeah, worked out good. So, yeah, orthodontia is not cheap. It was not cheap when I had it done when I was a kid, and I'm betting it's more expensive now. Yeah, in fact, my mom, we relocated, but my mom didn't come with us because she had a really good job that had really good dental coverage. And so she kept working there another year until my orthodontic work was completed. So yeah, she rented out a room from some friends of ours that was on Vancouver Island. We moved to the mainland, and then she would come over on the weekends to see us. So yeah. But basically that extra expense was still less than paying for all of my braces outright. So yeah. That goes to show you how cha-ching expensive it was, yeah. And even then, I think it only covered 50% of it, if I'm recalling correctly, yeah. Yeah, so I have dentists say, wow, you take really good care of your teeth. It's like, yeah, when you had to go through the full brace, you know, grill face, metal mouth, you take care of them, because that was a lot of a lot of pain and a lot of effort. Yeah. I said, that's something nobody warns you about. I don't know how it is now. They have the Invisalign, so it's probably a little gentler, but yeah. I had, like I said, the full brackets and wires and all that, and it hurts. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, that's something that they don't warn you of. Yeah, there were times, actually, I played the flute in high school band, and there were times I couldn't play it because resting it against my mouth was too painful. Yeah. But in the end, I say it was worth it, because yes. My teeth are nice now. So I'm one of those people who actually flosses every night. Yeah. My son too, because they told him, you look like you could have cavities easily in these teeth. They said, but if you floss, then the chances you will actually, you know, need drilling and filling are greatly reduced. So yeah, that got him to floss now. Yeah. Because yes, he definitely does not like dental work. Yeah. I mean, none of us loves it, right? But for some of us, it's more nerve-wracking than others. Yeah. Okay. Whoop, that one was threaded. And I dropped the needle, I think. Maybe not. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It's on the magnet there, so I'll just deal with it later. But yeah, looking here. Yeah, so I have a leaf coming in the top here. More leaves, and this is purple, so I'm kind of filling in the purple. The fence post is below, which I have not yet filled in. I will probably be doing that in January. Yeah. So yeah, I've kind of worked around the fence post, and I'm starting to see leaves. There's one leaf at the very bottom on top of the fence post here at the bottom of these flowers that I've already done. So yeah, it's purple, and it moves into let's see, leaves, and then yeah, into the peahen's wing, into her feathers. So that part is going to be pretty detailed. Yeah, people found it amusing that I called the one of these symbols the meatball and a skewer, and yeah, we've got quite a few of them. You have this purple in here, yeah. I think still quite a bit throughout the pattern. Yeah, checking a bit here and see how many stitches I've got left, but I think it's still like 3,000 or something if I'm remembering correctly from the last time I looked. Yeah, it's a nice sunny day today. Lots of natural light, which is definitely my preferred for stitching. Yeah. I have my crafting lamp, but I find there's just no substitute for natural light. And so, yeah, in these really dark days of winter, I have to quit stitching earlier than I would have liked. Yeah, so past the solstice, so I am more than ready for the days to start getting longer. But I often say it is technically, 22nd is the shortest day of the year, and the days get longer after that. But I said I don't really notice the difference until, closer to March. It actually starts to make a difference. Okay, so yes, still 3,400 stitches of that color left. So I was correct. There is, still quite a bit to go. So I'm going to work on this purple today. I might get some green of it changing into leaves. We'll see. But I doubt I'll be working on the fence post until January. Might get some done the last couple of days before the end of the year, but we will see. Like I said, I'm not counting on it. If I do, then bonus. But if I don't, that's okay. Yeah, so another year has gone by. I'm probably not staying up for New Year's Eve because I just don't do that anymore. I haven't done that in, I think 15 years, yeah. Well, I'm not a big partier. Like I said, the Royal Canadian Air Farce comedy show is no longer running, and that was the big New Year's thing. I've talked about this in previous videos, but the chicken cannon was the big thing. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that Canada Post would have been on it for this year. They were finally ordered back to work mid-December, and but yeah, like they said, a lot of small businesses lost out on a lot of revenue, and basically by the time they got back to work, it was too late for people's Christmas packages to be delivered in time for Christmas. Yeah, people had to either do electronic, be willing to wait until the new year to get their stuff, or pay extra for a courier. So yeah, I get why they did it, but yeah, unfortunately, as usual, it often disproportionately affects the little guy, the people living out in, smaller towns way out in the country, and that, were more disproportionately affected. So yeah, they said they were still delivering like pension checks and government relief checks kind of thing, but yeah, of course I don't know because I didn't receive any, so I don't know if that did happen, but that's what they said. And yeah, there was a news story saying like over 180,000 people's passports were stuck in the mail, which, of course, again, really sucked for people if they wanted to travel in December, which a lot of people do. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to travel internationally without your passport, so yeah. And I don't believe there was any option to pay extra for, receiving it in a courier. Again, I don't know because mine's not due for renewal till next year, so yeah, for us isn't a big deal. Yeah, I have had a passport for almost 10 years now, and I still have never used it. Oh, my husband had to get his for work because he had to go for training in another country. And so we kind of said, well, since we're getting those, we might as well get them for the whole family just in case. And then, yeah, we did, and then we have not used them since. So, Ooh, one day maybe. I was saying, I would like to go to England and see Bletchley Park, which is where they, the World War II code breakers worked. Yeah. Which, of course, was not known at the time. It was top secret. Yeah. Yeah, we really enjoyed the movie, The Imitation Game, which was based on true events about Alan Turing and the birth of modern computing, which began then. Okay, so yeah. So following the colors, so yeah, just kind of filling in this purple here. It kind of changes colors coming up soon, but I'm going to stick to the purple for the moment. Purples and the pinks. Which is what I've been working for the last bit. So yeah, I passed 58%, so woohoo. So I'm thinking, like I said, might be hitting the 2/3 mark in the spring, would be my guess, because I'm managing about 3% per month. So yeah, but I'm not going to make a goal of it because, again, like I say, I don't want to stress myself out. I want this to be fun. There's enough stuff in life causing stress, right? Yeah, we don't need to be adding to it with our hobbies. That's one of the big reasons why I did not join the Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along. Yeah. Well, if there had been one pattern that had really caught my eye, I would have joined for that, because no matter whether you do a single stitch or not, you get the one pattern that you selected as yours. Yeah, and then you get bonuses if you complete it. You get all of the patterns, and plus an extra 2 that were not part of the stitch along. So I saw someone, they finally finished last year's stitch along, the 2024 one. They just finished it this month, and so yeah, they were saying they were probably going to pick Thomas Kincaid patterns as their bonuses, since those never go on sale. Yeah, because of their licensing agreement. Those Precious Moments, and there's one other, I can't remember which, that are never included in the 50% off sales. So yeah. I still bought a couple of his anyway because I love his art. So yeah, I got Twilight Cottage and Sunset on Lamplight Lane. And I have the fabric for Twilight Cottage is gridded and ready to go. I did that this summer because while we were renovating, I couldn't really stitch, but I still had access to all my cloth, so I figured I might as well do the gridding part and get it out of the way. Yeah. It's tedious, but in my opinion, worth it because it prevents my making mistakes later. Yeah. I have stitched without a grid. It was not a full coverage piece. It was a kit, and I never finished it. Yeah. I was making it as a gift for my dad, and I never finished it. It's still sitting in a drawer, mocking me. It's one of the Dimensions kits. It was Eagle. Yeah. Maybe one day, but yeah. I figure no matter what hobby you have, there's always going to be some unfinished projects, right? Yeah. Stuff that you just, for whatever reason, you messed it up or you lost enthusiasm for it or whatever, yeah. And if people say, like, when is it okay to abandon a project? And it's like, if you're not enjoying it anymore, you know, then I say, go ahead. Don't feel guilty. Yeah. No sense in wasting more of your time working on something that is not bringing you joy, right? Just because you've already spent so much time on it. That's the sunk cost fallacy, yeah. Continuing to torment yourself by wasting more time isn't going to bring back the time you already invested. It just means you waste more time. So, yeah. And like a lot of people say, if the pattern hasn't been retired and it's still available, like if it's a hard copy, you wouldn't have a problem. But if it was a digital one, but it's still available, somebody might be more than happy to take it off your hands and finish it if it's a pattern they like. Yeah. So. Might as well send it to a home where it will be loved and enjoyed rather than sitting with you resented. Yeah, it's wild. Soon it'll be time to take my Christmas tree down. Seems like I just put it up. Yeah, and the house always looks so empty once you take the tree down, even though, you know, it's only been there for like 3-4 weeks, right? Like, but you get used to it in that time, and then, yeah, it seems super empty. Yeah, we had 1 year, the year we were getting married in January, and so, yeah, that tree stayed up for like, oh, sheesh, February? Yeah. It finally got taken down when we moved because I was in an apartment and my husband was still in the military in this time. And once we were married, then we were eligible to live in military housing. They called it PMQs, the private married quarters, which was like little rancher houses. And yeah, for cheaper than what my apartment was being rented for. So, I mean, why not, right? To get your own separate structure. Definitely better. So, yeah. But yeah, we were so busy with the wedding and all that, yeah, that tree finally came down when we were packing the whole apartment up to move. Yeah. It was funny because my husband was living with an assigned roommate at the time. They had a row of houses and sort of, they were like 3-bedroom houses, so 3 people to one house shared. And for some reason, there was only him and one other guy at the time. They weren't full. But for some reason, he thought we were both moving in with him after we got married. Yeah. So the guy was talking about, well, we need boundaries because, you know, Gemma's going to have to understand I live here too. And my husband's like, what are you talking about? Right? My then fiance. And he's like, well, when Gemma moves in, he's like, she's not moving in. I'm moving out. You know? Yeah, we want to be in our own place, not with a roommate. I mean, no shade to people who do. Sometimes that's just what's most, you know, feasible. But yeah, we were fortunate to have a choice in the matter. And so, yeah, we definitely wanted our own space that was just for us. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. Yeah, so I can see, let me take a look here. Yeah, the colors are changing here. I'm going to stick to what is purple and sort of some gray here is coming in, mixing in with it. So I'm going to kind of make the cutoff there, finish filling in this purple, and then I will probably go back to the top and fill in some more from there. But that will probably be not for today. Okay, I think I got, yeah, a fair amount of this color coming up, so I'm going to put this in my tray. But yeah, it was funny because his old roommate at the time was a bit persnickety about stuff. I was there one day and had a cup of coffee, and I rinsed the coffee cup, put in the sink, because I was going to do the dishes later, you know, after we had lunch, but yeah, he didn't like that. And but then it was funny because he went away for the weekend to visit family, and he and my husband each had sort of their own cupboards in the kitchen, right, for their own food. And my husband comes in one day and he's like, what's that smell? Something smells overripe. And he goes in and he looks, and the guy had left 2 cantaloupes in the corner of his cupboard and forgotten about them, and they were like all covered in fuzz. He said it looked like a fuzzy bum in the corner. And so he said, I closed the cupboard because he was coming back the next day. And then I just told him, can you deal with your cantaloupes in your cupboard there? And then, yeah, Buddy never complained about someone leaving a dish in the sink again after that. Oh, he kind of didn't have a leg to stand on after that, yeah. Oh, dear. I was thinking, though, why would you store cantaloupes in the cupboard? I mean, I would keep those in the fridge. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. That's where we always kept them when I was a kid. So I know there's some fruits they say store them on the counter because they keep their taste better, like bananas, if you want them to keep ripening, right? But yeah. Yeah, so these I'm going to move out of my way because, yeah, like I said, there's a leaf coming in there. I think that's what that is. But yeah, those little military houses we lived in, they're not around anymore. They raised them after we moved out. They were really old. They were built pre-World War II. So yeah. But yeah, it was a nice little place. We were able to save up quite a good amount of money in there because the rent was so cheap. Yeah, and it was really nice, like I said, instead of an apartment, to have your own little building. It was kind of nice too because we were good friends with all our neighbors. They were all military as well, so yeah. We had one couple who lived next door, and their kids were teenagers, and we were, you know, young 20s, so they kind of adopted us. Yeah. But yeah, we were curious when we went back to visit family, and we drove by, and it's all high-rise condos now in that area. Yeah, probably doesn't even belong to the military anymore, would be my guess. But yeah. So you can see different colors are coming in here as this changes from the flowers to leaves. Because, yeah, there are leaves that are sort of around the big flower that I did in the last pass. There's a tiny bit of the edge of a couple of the petals in this pass, but otherwise it was pretty much done in the previous pass. Yeah. So I'm kind of reaching my limit of live needles here. They start to get a little tangled up at this point. There we go. So yeah, that's another reason why I kind of stitch by color motif. I have fewer needles going, less trouble getting them apart. Just make sure there's no knot there. That kind of sounded a little funny. Oh, yep, there we go. There was. Okay, yep, there it is. Yeah. If it doesn't make a smooth pull all the way, it's a good idea to check that it hasn't snarled up on itself. There we are. Like I always say, it's much easier to fix those right away. After they've been stitched through with other threads, it becomes a real nightmare. Yes, we haven't had any majorly cold weather yet this winter. That's usually coming in the new year. Yeah. Yeah, usually January or February we have a really nasty cold snap. So, yeah, we'll see. That was wrong. Yeah, that was off. These little ones tend to not want to stay threaded easily. So yeah, see what my stitch count is by the end of the month, but I'll have done at least 7,000 stitches with, which, like I say, with it being the holidays, that's not a bad number. I'm expecting it to pick up in the new year because I'll have less going on. Okay. Oh yeah, so that would curve down, so that would involve me using a lot of other, so I'm just going to not bother doing that symbol yet. Leaves a little bit of a gap, but it doesn't close in on all four sides, and that's my biggest concern, what I try to avoid. So yeah, if we end up with little indentations here, that's okay. I say that's okay, but I mean, however you want to stitch it is okay. There's no rules. Yeah. Yeah, I saw one somebody did where they had changed from full cross to the tent stitch halfway through. And yeah, you really could not tell. And they had done more than half of it one way and then switched. And they said they made sure their tent stitch was following the same direction as the top leg of the full cross stitch. And yeah, like I looked at it, I zoomed in, I could not tell at all where they had changed. So there's a lot of people who said they have done that where they had a huge project and, you know, they decided to switch to tent partway through because it is faster. And yeah, because they really could not tell. Yeah, I'm a full cross person. I might try tent one of these days, but yeah, no plans at the moment. I like my full cross. I think tent stitch tends to work better on smaller counts as well. With 14 count, they said, yeah, they recommend generally that, like, if you're using 2 strands for the full cross, you use twice as many for tent and 4 strands. That's quite a lot for me. Yeah, trying to keep them neater, right? When it's just 2 strands, it is easier to keep them from twisting around each other than when it's, you know, several. So that's another thing, because like I said, I've seen tent stitch done on 18 count and looks great, but yeah, 18 count is a little small for my comfort. My eyes don't like it that much, so I'm gonna stick with my huge 14 count pieces, but this way I don't need any magnification. So yeah, okay, so again, I'm going to move those aside. I'm not planning on working them yet. I'm planning on finishing this purple that's all here first before I start filling in other colors. Oh, yuck. One of my hairs. Ick. So again, some of this purple kind of drifts out over here. I'll probably use a separate thread for those 3 little stitches, because in order to fill others, I would have to fill in a whole bunch going upwards, and to avoid closing something in on all 4 sides, and I just don't feel like doing that, so I'll use another thread. I always have little leftover bits that are only good for, you know, 3 or 4 stitches, so that is not a problem. Yeah, I guess I'd have to look back to see how many stitches I managed in a year. Of course, it was across more than one project, so there's that too. Okay, so right. I already planned ahead mentally that this was going to take 2 strands, because I have 2 shorter bits, so yeah, rather than skipping all around with one long piece, I decided to split it up into 2 smaller pieces. Yeah, soon it's going to be time to take this off the Q-snap and show it to you all. That's always fun. Yeah, when you look at a whole month's progress, it's nice, because sometimes, yeah, the daily progress can seem like you're getting nowhere, but yeah, it adds up. Stop. I think this is too, yeah, terribly long. Okay. That helps me decide what I'm going to attach, because this is almost out. Ooh. That was no good. I don't know what happened there. But let's try again. Oh, got a little knot on it. I see. That's what happened. I hate when that happens. Yeah. Okay, well, time to tie it off anyway. It's just about done. Okay. Yeah, I said I was going to do this and then do the leaves, but I might actually start on the fence post after finishing this purple bit, because it's further over to the left, and if I fill in part of it, then I can move my whole frame over a bit more after I've shown you guys the monthly progress. Yeah. And that'll sort of save me from having to put it back in the same place and then move it again later. Save me one move. Yeah, I like to have my work up as close to the left-hand side as possible so I don't have to reach as far with my left hand. This stitch here, it's still connected on the one side. Actually, I might not even have to add another thread now. Yeah, can you guess what I'm planning? Yeah, I'm gonna fill in what's to the left of this, and then I'm gonna bring that thread down and back up, and if there's still enough left, when I get to the top, I can do those 3 stitches with it, so yeah, cool. Felt wrong. Okay, hang on a sec. Which one did I do last? This one or this one? Yeah, something feels wrong here. Oh, I think I sewed through it with itself. Darn it. I hate when I do that. You don't want to lie flat now. Darn it. What is going on here? That's annoying. You're just gonna be like that, huh? Oh, I see it. Again, it got a little knot on it. I don't know how that keeps happening. That's very annoying. Right at the end. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there we go. This forces the knot to stay on the back. I just tack it over there with a pin stitch. There. Yeah, and the little knot was preventing it from wanting to come through one side or go back through the other. That's annoying. Hate when that happens. Okay. Bit of one of those pin stitch ends was trying to come up through. So that's what I often tend to do is, rather than going more diagonal, I kind of square it off, and then it makes it easier to just move the whole frame over. But yeah, I mean, I guess either way, I'm going to be taking this out of the frame soon because I will be doing my monthly update. First one for the new year. My gosh. Yeah, hard to believe it's that time again. So then this color, I'm going to travel it all the way along this edge and back up. And hopefully there'll be enough left. I can park it up there to do those 3 stitches by themselves. If not, then I'll do them with a new thread. No problem. Yes, so I think I'm going to go past 200 today, which is not bad. Yeah, it wasn't huge blocks of color, but there weren't very many colors, so that helps speed things along. Yeah, there should be enough left that I will not have to add another thread. Sweet. It's always nice when it works out that way. Yeah, perfect. So then I can also do this one here since it's connected on the one side. And park it, in fact. Yeah, more than enough to do the 3 stitches there, so excellent. Oh yeah, past 200 now. Sweet. So yeah, again, you can see the colors change and it turns into leaves and shadows, I think. Purple's starting to fade out. So yeah, do a bit of that, and then that's where I'm going to call it a day because I will probably be tackling the fence post next. I'm just going to finish filling in sort of this little indentation here, and then that's where I'm going to call it a day. As I said, you can see the colors changing here to the leaf colors as they're coming in here. So yeah, what will probably happen is I'll fill in the fence post, follow that curve, and then fill in around it. Like I say, I'm not really concerned with doing perfect diagonals anymore, so. Just follow whatever color motif I feel like doing at the time. That's what I feel like doing. So yeah, when I next show this to you, I'll probably have some of the fence posts done. And then it's going to be time to start the new year. Woohoo! So yeah, I say I follow the colors, but I mean, I will sometimes do sort of a little bit of the next color when it makes sense to me to do that. Rather than leaving a big indentation here, I figured might as well fill it in, since it's bumping right up against the stitches that are already completed, so I'm not going to be leaving gaps. And then I'm going to do these two, park it over to the side, and then yeah, I'm going to probably switch to working on the fence post, but I won't be getting to that today. So we've already stitched together for over an hour. Yeah, I need to get some housework done. Yes, I would love to stitch all day long, but there are other things that need to be attended to, so. So there we go, 223, that's a good progress. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the new year, I guess. So see you later, bye.